And this morning I have another wonderful recipe for you. I've been trending this week with those recipes in a mug. I have another one. I'm just intrigued by them. I find them so easy and fun to do, and there's a whole bunch of different ones. So I'm bringing you another sweet, delicious one this morning. I was looking for my mug that I'm going, oh, here it is. Again, all these recipes this week can fit in a mug, and it's a serving for 1 or 2, depending on the outcome of the recipe. These are wonderful. As I say every morning so far, I love these because 1, they portion control for you, and if you're like me, my weakness is sweets, so I'm always looking for a sweet, but I don't want to make a whole batch or a whole cake or a whole pie. I just want a little bit of something occasionally, and so that's why these recipes are so wonderful. You can just make one and done and get past your sweet tooth and then not have to worry about them calling your name from the refrigerator like they do for me when I make more than one. So this morning we are making a cinnamon roll in a mug. So what you'll need for this is some flour, and then we are going to be using some maple as our sweetener. We're gonna use milk, almond milk, or whatever plant-based milk or regular milk you like to use. You'll need a little bit of baking powder to help it rise and get fluffy. Cinnamon, of course, some vanilla, and then we're going to be using coconut sugar for our sweetness mixed with our cinnamon, and a little bit of coconut oil or melted butter. So to get started, what we're going to do, you can mix all this right in your mug, just as you can do with all these recipes, but for demonstration purposes, I think it is helpful that I show you what we're doing. So I am going to do it in a bowl for you. So to get started, we need 1/4 cup of flour. When you're measuring flour, you want to make sure that you have even cupfuls, whatever measurement it is. You can lots of times use a knife to even off the top of your flour to make sure it's the right amount. When you add too much flour or too little flour, it can really affect the dough of the dessert or whatever you're making, in this case a cinnamon roll. Next, we're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. It's a small amount, but we're making a small portion. We're making 1 in a mug for ourselves or to share with somebody. Thankfully, I'm the only one here right now, so I don't have to share. For the liquid, we're using 2 tablespoons of almond milk. Oh, I already took the lid off. And we're gonna put that right in our dish as well. You can use whatever milk substitute you like, regular milk, or you could even use water for this part of the recipe. That would work and not affect it. We're also then going to add 1 tablespoon of maple syrup for our sweetener and a touch of vanilla. I like to use the pure maple syrup, as I tell you frequently in my cooking demos. It's already a natural sweetener. We don't need to have any other ingredients on the label. Lots of times you'll see that they're adding high fructose corn syrup to it. Not a good idea. If you can, try and find the one without that. And then we're going to add just a touch of vanilla, 1/4 teaspoon. Again, a small amount for a small serving. I always have to be careful. I always overpour. My 1/4 teaspoon is so small, and I'm heavy-handed here. And then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of the coconut oil or melted butter. It's just a small amount, once again, for our portion control of a 1 serving. Now we are just going to mix this all together right here in a bowl. I like to start with a fork just to get that flour broken up. And then I will finish with a spatula or a scraper just to make sure all the dry ingredients that might be stuck to the side of the bowl get mixed in. And like I said, you can easily mix this up in your mug. 1, I just like to be able to show you what I'm doing. And 2, I like to do this separately just so I can make sure all the ingredients are well incorporated. When it's in the mug, it can be a little bit more difficult to see and work with. And again, your ingredients can stick to the side like they have here, and I really like to make sure my dry ingredients are really mixed in well. Now, it is a nice batter consistency, like a cake batter. If you've ever made a cake from a box, that's kind of what the consistency you want to go with. If it's a little thick, you can always add a little bit more milk. Now I'm gonna lightly spray my mug that I will be using, and we're gonna pour this right into our mug. So a little bit of spray that will help it slide out at the end a lot easier. You can eat it right out of the mug if you wish, or you can put it on a plate, which I will show you when we're done here. Now this one bakes really quickly in the microwave. You only need to bake this for a minute. Again, you might have to add a little or subtract a little bit of the time based on the wattage or power of your microwave. I did one right before and it seems to hold true. Mine heats pretty high, but 1 minute and it was done. So we're gonna add that. And now in a separate little bowl, we're just gonna add our coconut sugar and our cinnamon because we're gonna sprinkle that on top and cut it through. And I'll show you how we do that. So we're gonna take 1 tablespoon of the coconut flour. If you don't have coconut flour, you can substitute brown sugar as well. So we're gonna do 1 tablespoon of the coconut sugar, and then we're gonna add just a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon in this and mix them together. And then we're gonna pour it right on top of our cinnamon bun dough that we put in the mug already. So mix these together. I'm just have a little knife here, stir in the dry ingredients. So the cinnamon is mixed throughout that coconut or brown sugar. Now I am just going to pour this right on top of my dough. It's gonna be hard to see. Can you see in there? It's right on top of the dough. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your knife and not necessarily stir, but we're gonna kind of go back and forth, crisscross, and get that cinnamon and sugar throughout the dough. We don't wanna stir it in, but we wanna, it's called cutting it in. So it's really like we're slicing the dough with our knife, and therefore the cinnamon and sugar gets incorporated through it. Now we're gonna pop this in the microwave for 1 minute. That's all it takes to bake. So I'm gonna do that now. Let me scoot back to my microwave here. Put it in. Again, always keep an eye on your microwave because of the power or wattage. It could cook faster. Excuse me. When you are done, and I'll show you when it comes out of the microwave, but it slides right out. It looks like this beautiful little cinnamon roll muffin. What you can do in addition, it does not say this in the recipe that I will be providing, but you can make a little icing for it. It's super simple. We're just going to add about a tablespoon, let me find a clean one, a tablespoon of powdered sugar to a small bowl. And then we're gonna add about a tablespoon of milk, and we're gonna slowly add milk as we need it. But this will make a delicious icing for the top. That's all icing really is a little milk and powdered sugar. So I add about 1.5 tablespoons of the milk, and I'm gonna stir that up with my fork to get all the sugar is melted inside. Powdered sugar will dissolve in your milk. And I'm gonna add just a little bit more powdered sugar because I want it to be a little bit thicker. So I'd add more like 2 tablespoons to 1 of the milk. You can make it less. This will be enough icing for 2 of your mug cinnamon muffins. So there we have it. You just stir it up and then you can drizzle this right on top of your cinnamon roll from your mug, and it will be delicious and tasty, and it'll go so well with that coffee that you have hot in the pot right now. So there you go. It's perfect. It looks delicious. It's a wonderful thing you can whip together if somebody stopped by to have coffee with you on your porch outside this morning. I'll get the one out of the microwave to show you how easy it was. Careful when you get it out. Your mug may be a little bit warm. And then let me wipe off my knife, and I will just, in theory, slide it right out like the first one. So yep, you just can guide it out a little bit, and I'll put it right here on our little stand. It slides out super easily. Let me show you that one. And then if you want it hot out of the oven, you can put your icing on that one as well. So it comes out super easy. That was super quick. We made it in completion from beginning to end right here in live. And so I know you can do it at home yourself as well. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. And up next is Steph at 10 with the workout of the day. You guys have a great morning. I'll see you later.